At some point, you might want to outgrow the romanticized artist's cocoon you've created, to escape the perpetually restricted resources you have at your disposal and finally actualize your fullest artistic potential. Well, then you gotta murder that broke artist and start thinking about a realistic career strategy.
Yeah, well, you call it murder. I call it a career move.
I'm being tongue-in-cheek here. Of course, the art is the unflinching priority, but the industry is a game that you need to learn how to play in order to make art at the highest level you want. You owe it to your vision.
That's life, huh?
Film festivals have been a staple in creating and maintaining the careers of many filmmakers. If you want to direct feature films and escape obscurity, having your short film succeed at festivals can be a path to coming closer to that goal. I'm going to try and cover some of the most important things I've learned so far regarding film festivals with the intention of gaining the most benefit out of them as a filmmaker or producer. I'm based in Europe.
Austria! Let's put another shrimp on the barbie!
So this is going to be focused on the European landscape of film festivals, but the concepts in this video will be broadly applicable to other regions. So following the same logic, you can definitely apply the information to your situation. There are obviously exceptions for what I'm about to talk about, but the statements I'm going to make are generally true, and I think it's best to follow this realistic strategy rather than hoping you're going to be the magical exception.
But I'm special too.
I'm going to start broad and then get very specific, so if you want to skip to a certain section, you can find the chapters in the description or the timeline below. I'm going to quickly summarize the approach here. Keep in mind this is one aspect of approaching a career in film. If you're already getting films made through crowdfunding, public funding, private equity, and your films are making enough return, you might never even need to touch a festival. This is one possible way of progressing amongst all of the different ways filmmakers can get their start or progress. This is a film festival strategy of how to use the resources you invest in your films, so time, effort, and money, in order to achieve the goal. The possibility to make more films at a higher level, which is driven by status, network, and potential. The more you invest your resources, the more likely you are to impact the driving forces, the more likely you are to receive the end result you want. Your resources are internal and are directly affected by you. If you approach these with intention and conscious, well-informed decision-making, you can drastically increase your efficacy. That only works by consistently learning and honing in on your craft and vision. This section is entirely in your control. The driving forces are how the industry works. These are externally interpreted and developed. It depends on how you interface with others and the industry. By status, I mean your standing in the industry. Do you play in big festivals? Do critics or audiences love you? Have you received significant awards? Network is then obviously who you work with or who you could work with. It's important that you focus on developing a network that facilitates your end goal. It's easy to connect with people on your level, but it's harder to attract the attention of those above you. But this is where the reward of your end result lies. Finally, potential is what can be seen in you. It's a combination of your talent, commercial viability, and artistic consistency and significance. It encompasses such a range of attributes that this is probably the hardest part. This is in the end what will determine whether a financier, producer, or investor will take the step to give you a shot. This path is how you could reach this end result. Now let's start getting more specific. Film festivals are probably one of the most reliable ways to improve these external driving forces. You need to understand how film festivals work, their significance in the industry, and how you can benefit from them as a filmmaker or producer. One of the most important concepts you have to understand is the weight of different festivals. You're able to divide festivals into tiers based on their industry significance. In the case of Europe, the most significant festivals are undoubtedly Cannes, Berlin, and Venice. But your chances of playing these festivals as an unknown is close to zero, even if you submit just like everyone else. You have to remember at this level the films being played are playing to win. These are usually films with decent budgets that need to find buyers at the festival. Most importantly, the producers and production companies have existing relationships with the festivals. They're in direct communication beforehand about when the next film of the next director will be ready for the festival so that they can plan for it. So before the submission window even closes, they might have already part of their selection lined up.
That's not fair.
Deal with it.
It's like you think you're calling a restaurant to reserve a seat and you think you have the same chance as anyone else who could call in. but the restaurant owner has already reserved tables for their regular customers, which makes your window of opportunity even smaller. Then on top of that, the restaurant owner is weighing up whether your status will help their restaurant get more attention. When you call them up, they're wondering whether allowing another better known person take the spot will entice more people to visit the restaurant. In the end of the day, it's a business relationship. You both need a win. Festivals want attention, audiences, and reverence, and they're seeing whether your film can contribute to that. So to cut to the point, if you're not already well established, the chances of you making it into competition or even a significant subsection of a top-tier festival is essentially zero.
So you're telling me there's a chance?
They have producers, production companies, and even film schools that they can reliably trust to deliver quality and attract audiences. So why would they take a risk on you?
You're never gonna give me a chance, are you?
So you need an alternative jumping off point. Your local festival, maybe. Probably not if you want to build a serious career. If it's one of your first films, you want to meet more people in your local film community, just get your film seen and have fun, definitely go for small local festivals. But make sure you research the festivals you're looking at before you submit to them or attend them. If you value your time, effort, and money, you can lose a lot on unprofessional and frankly insignificant film festivals.
Don't waste my motherfucking time!
Now, if you're at the stage where you want to make the step from smaller productions to bigger ones, you need to be targeting festivals that fall between the categories of top tier and local festivals. Because there are still significant film festivals that aren't as big as the top tier ones. This means you have a better chance of getting in, they won't put as much weight on your celebrity status, and you're more likely to find producers and other film professionals that are closer to your level and ready to take that next step with you. On top of that, some significant producers will check on these festivals to see if any talent stands out to them. This is a fairly robust way of potentially getting discovered, since the selection of your film carries a certain weight with it. So let's get even more specific. At the top of this subcategory, there are selections that are related to or occur concurrently to the major festivals. These include, for example, the Quinzaine des Cinéastes, or the Directors' Fortnight at Cannes, or the Giornate degli Autori, or the Authors' Days at Venice. These kinds of selections are often independent from the related festival, but occur in the same time frame and generally are well regarded and paid attention to. Importantly enough, they're more open to up-and-coming filmmakers and give you a better shot at building your career. By the way, be careful of festivals that try to use the names of major cities or major festivals to make themselves sound more legit. Pay attention to the wording. Cannes is Festival de Cannes. It's not Film Week Cannes. It's not Independent Film Festival Cannes. Do your research and see which selections are actually significant and related to the festivals and which aren't. Now, the festivals we are talking about are related to the top tier festivals. While that's good because it means they're well regarded, it also means they're quite competitive to get into. So what if you're not quite there yet? What are your options then? Well, you have a whole subsection of mid-tier festivals that are significant, but not at the same level as Cannes, Berlin, or Venice. At the top end in Europe, this includes the likes of Rotterdam, Locarno, BFI, San Sebastian, Karlovy Vary, Sarajevo, Cork, and so on. The point is, you have a lot of options. These are respected, significant festivals that can help you build your career. Now, they're the top tier of that subsection, so still not easy to get into, but definitely worth shooting for if your budget can afford it. Now, there is also a lower tier of that subsection. These are also respected festivals that should be more accessible once you reach a certain standard of artistic quality. What's important here, though, is that you can see that you can break down the film festival landscape, and now you've taken a sea of chaos and confusion and instead built a very clear trajectory of how you can work towards your goal. If you're at the stage of making short films and you're looking for good festivals to send your film to, in Europe, I would recommend checking out the European Film Academy Short Film Network. This is a selected list of European film festivals that accept short films that can be open to newcomers. You can also be nominated for the European Film Awards if you run in these festivals, but the point is this is a curated and vetted list of significant European festivals that have an international short film competition section. That's a good list to start working your way up. Now, this list, of course, isn't exhaustive, but it's a good place to start. Similar lists exist for other regions, of course, and you can find something that's relevant for you. just by researching it a bit, but the important point is that you get a feeling for which festivals are worth investing in and that you can start to categorize them and see how you can work your way up. If you want to get the most out of them, pick ones you'll be able to attend, so either in your country or within your budget to travel to. I'll probably do another video at some point with really specific practical tips about film festivals, so I'll save those for another time because this is more about broader strategy. Speaking of which, keep in mind that this hierarchical categorization of film festivals is quite broad. For specific producers and filmmakers working in niche genres or markets, certain festivals might be more relevant than others. The best example for the North American market is Toronto After Dark, which is one of the most important film festivals for horror films, but would be irrelevant for a filmmaker that makes art house dramas. So you need to assess, where does my film fall in terms of style, genre, budget, etc. And be realistic, or you're going to waste a lot of your resources. And then assess what festivals will be most receptive to this film and could provide me with valuable opportunities to make more films. That's a little reminder of the goal, to make more films at a higher level. As a closing reminder, this film festival strategy is all fine and well if your work is outstanding. But if not, this is all a pointless waste of your time. Which is why, here's another little reminder, that the priority is to always develop your craft and vision in order to produce your best work.
Exponential growth.
Reach into the deepest depths of your soul and of humanity and rip out the most profound shit you can find. Make meaning. Strong work will make every step of your career easier. This strategy works like anything else in life. If you put fuck all into it, you get fuck all out of it. Don't half-ass this, or you might as well not do it at all. Now get the fuck out of here and make your film.
Oh!